Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new program. It's called the Gung Ho Knife Show. We've got myself, Thrifty, and my buddy over here,
Slippy. I'm with BigJ today. We're going to be checking out his collection down below.
And yeah, so basically, this is going to be kind of similar to the stream that I've had in the past, but maybe a little more. What do you call it? Just a little more knife intensive. Yeah, knife heavy.
Knife heavy.
It's not going to be so much an interview or asking a bunch of questions. It's just showing, people's knives collections. So we're just going to get right into it. Big J, of course, does his own channel, so make sure you're checking him out over at Big J's Knives. You want to plug anything on your program that's coming up or anything?
We got J.O. Ventures coming on this Sunday because he's donated some gracious gifts as well as you. So we're going to have him on, and then Boston Blade Reviews is putting out some more content now. He just put out a great open tag on 3 knives you take in the woods for a week. And I plan on joining that hopefully tonight when we're done with this. So I should shoot that. But
yeah, but for those that aren't familiar, he's talking about the Happy Hour live chat. That's on Sundays at 5:30 Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Central Time.
4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern.
Oh, 5:30 Eastern. Okay,
yeah.
4:30. I'm sorry about that.
That's
okay,
all right.
So 4:30 p.m. Central, and he's along with Boston Blade Reviews as his partner in crime. And most times you guys have on, I guess, but not always, right? So
yeah, we're trying to now do more on our own, because before we needed a third person, honestly, because you're talking a lot and you just don't know what you're doing right off the bat. But now I think we're going to be doing 1 to 2 episodes by ourselves a month.
Okay, so about half and half now.
Yeah, that's what we're going to shoot for. I think is the new goal.
All right, so what this whole Gung Ho Blade Knife Show, we're just going to be, kind of getting a feel for people's collections. And as I told Jerry before, this is going to kind of lead up into something else. We're actually kind of observing his collection for a reason, not just for everybody's enjoyment, which is going to be obviously part of it, but we're going to be doing knife wars live like Slippy and I have already done in the past. And we're going to be pitting 2 collectors' knives collections up against one another. So once we have an opportunity to kind of see everybody's collections and know kind of what they have, it'll be a much easier task to kind of find his best sparring mate, right?
Yeah.
So everything will be a little more even. But we're going to be doing more
as even as possible.
Yeah. So we're going to be having more of those knife wars. It won't be Slippy and I. It'll be two other guests that come on the live show. So let's get started with your connection, man. Our collection.
All right, man.
And see what you brought out for us.
Well, I'm a big, and I've heard you guys say this when you did like the top so many knife YouTubers, and when you mentioned me, you were like, USA guy, just because of where and how I grew up in the backwoods of West Virginia. But you guys know I'm all about the case blades.
Oh yeah.
And this right here is a nice gift that Doom Crew Outdoors actually gifted this knife to me. So it kind of, once I started talking to him, me and him talk daily. We usually start talking about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. But he kind of got me on this copper lock and tribal lock train. And we've even done some trading for some copper locks. But this right here is just a kind of a special knife to me, and kind of really set me up for starting to really want to get more locking case blades. We got this one here. I absolutely adore this knife. And because he gifted this to me, what I did is I went out and got me the matching mini copper lock to it, because Lee out at the flea market had this.
You've got to have the pair, haven't you? You've got to have.
Yeah, well, you got to, right? So Lee, I was out there one night, and I was looking at a whole different case, and he goes, "You didn't see my new stuff, did you?" And I walked over there, and I actually had a copper lock in my hand. And as soon as I seen this, I threw the copper lock down and immediately grabbed this. He had $65 on it, but he always gives me a BigJ discount. So I think I paid $60 for this knife right here. And to touch this on eBay these days, you're going to pay over $100. So, thanks to Doom Crew for kind of getting me on the old whiskey bone train. And, beforehand, we were talking, like, what, I look at your collection and what you're doing. And I said, well, I'll kind of tell you the rule I've kind of set for myself here recently was I'm a big carbon guy, right? Big carbon steel. You know, these whiskey bones are carbon steel. So what I did is I kind of set a rule of I'll buy True Sharp if it's over 4 inches or doesn't match something. But if it's under a 4-inch case knife, I've got to have carbon or CV. Like if I see a mini trapper or a Texas Jack or, you know, a 47 that doesn't match anything I have, I want that in carbon steel. Where if it's over 4 inches, I'll buy it in stainless steel. I don't know why I did that. It's just kind of something I kind of set for myself, and I'm trying to follow it. But, you know, Lee also had this one out there.
Is that the Buffalo?
It is. And of course it's the, you know, full-size trapper. I believe it's a 2022 model. But it's not the S35VN. This is just True Sharp stainless steel, so it's just beautiful. You know.
Yeah, because they have that series that is all S35VN.
Yeah, the nail nicks are cutouts instead, aren't they, and stuff on it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I personally don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. You know, this is just a little more classier and kind of, you know, the way I grew up was, you know, on case knives. And if you had a case knife and it was stainless steel, the old timers would make fun of you for having it because they were all about the carbon steel. I don't know, TK, if that was something where you grew up. If you had a case knife in your pocket at the barber shop and you're kind of got it out playing with it and the old man comes up to you, hey, let me see it. He sees that stainless steel. He goes, you get that out of here.
No, it's, you know, I figured that they were just happy to see any of these older guys that you even carried a pocket knife. They were less concerned about like how, you know, how much quality it was. But yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, in West Virginia, it was a big thing. And I don't know why. You know, and maybe it's just because they just like picking on you. I don't know why, but, you know, here's another carbon steel one. I actually did a trade for this one right here to Kevin, Boston Blade Reviews. I traded him a burnt autumn bone tribal lock for this CV trapper. Of course, I got it all rolled up, but for this and a $155.
Oh.
I didn't know how much I was really going to like this, but I fell in love with this thing. And I think it's just because of the way it fits in a JO sheath that he made us for a sod buster. But, you know, and I don't know why the stainless steel on this doesn't bother me as much as it does on. Maybe it's because Case has that option of carbon steel or CV.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, now they're branding 1095.
Right.
So, but that was a good trade. And I threw him in a old timer 194 OT as well on that, just to kind of, he's giving me 2. Yeah, he's giving me 2. I want to give him 2. And, you know, we're all the time gifting stuff back and forth to each other. But, you know, I think a majority of my collection is going to be case knives, honestly. I got all these copper, you know, not a lot of them, but, you know, here's like the burnt India.
Oh, okay.
Copper lock. But I got to the point where I had quite a few of these warnies. And, you know, I had the one that was Harvest Orange Corncob Jig. And Doom Crew needed it for his collection. And he was trying to get one on eBay. And I'm like, hey, if you can't cut a deal with that guy, I'll trade you something for it. And we did a trade on that as well. So, but yeah, I got all kinds of. Here's one I really like that I carry all the time. Well, not all the time, you know, just this is a very frequent carry for me. And it's the Sunset, Smoky Valley Sunset, you know, 75 pattern.
I love the 75 pattern. I think it's great.
Yeah. And, you know, it's actually, you know, it's got carbon 1095 on the bolster. Trying to get that to come in. And then it also has 1095, of course, on the tank stamp on your sheep's foot with the pattern. So
I just love the carbon steel on the case knives. I think it's great.
Oh yeah.
If there's an option, the same as you, if there's an option to get it, I'll be getting it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know. Like again, I don't know why I kind of set myself to kind of follow that guideline, but like here's another one.
For me, my preference is carbon steel, and it pretty much always has been. I just can't help it. Like I just think it's. I don't even know why, because it's not even superior. I just think.
Sorry about that.
It just gets that like hair popping sharp, doesn't it, when you polish it up on the edge?
It really does. Like if you take this sheep's foot blade, for example, and I don't know what it is about it that that's like a hollow grind, right? You can actually feel it kind of how thin it gets. And you sharpen that and strop that carbon steel. I mean, the hair will just fly off your arm like
you get it scary sharp.
It's insane how sharp you can get these. But here's another one. This is carbon steel. Well, we picked up, I was showing this right here, just the carbon steel. And the good thing of why I really like these two, Slippy and TK, is the box is just, I don't know. I just like it for some reason. Huh? I do. I like it. I'm not going to lie. It's not a GEC tube by no means, but,
I just think it's cleaner than the normal box. I just prefer it.
Yeah, you take that and you compare it to like the buffalo horn coming. The black, the black, I don't know. I just like it.
Well, I like these two a lot better than those gray ones that he comes in.
These, the ones with the flags on the front, I guess.
Yeah, no. Exactly, they should all be in the black box, and that's it. It's all about black.
Yeah, this one, I just grabbed this box, but it's got the bones. I got the bone stag trapper. I've had this knife for a really long time. I can't remember.
What's your favorite pattern then among the case knives that you own?
Well, I'm going to say right now, tribal lock.
Okay.
Just because,
And you traded one away to Boston.
I did. But, he was really wanting one to check it out. And honestly, the one I had, it was so fancy that I was never going to carry it. I don't think he's going to carry it either. But just to give it to him so he can feel it and know what it's like. It was worth it to me to send it to him because I don't know. I like helping people out. And if he wants to try something out and we can make a decent trade, why not do it?
Right.
But I was at that case event. You guys seen those videos that me and Jo did when we went to the case event.
Ohio, right?
That was actually in Oceana, Indiana.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
But I picked up this tribal lock. This gray.
The gray bone. Yeah.
Gray, Bose pocket worn gray bone crandall jig. That's a mouthful. Some of these names. But it's CV. Now, I had seen these and I knew the gray crandall jig bones were CV blades. And I seen like a group of them and I just ran to them. And they had two of these left. And the initial one, they pull them off the wall and they want you to buy the display model, of course, but the blade centering wasn't very good on that one. So I was like, hey, man, you got to show me a different one. And this one here's
it looks pretty good.
Right down the middle.
Yeah.
And honestly, this one here, the fit and finish on this one too is, one of them knives where do you think you're ever going to carry it? I don't know. Probably not, but it's nice to have it. You know what I mean? But
there's not. It's just like kind of a dilemma sometimes, isn't it? Whether to carry something or not when you're kind of collecting them as well.
It's a decision. I got a 75. It's already beat up. Am I going to take my amber bone one and beat that up too?
Right.
Or am I just going to keep wailing on this thing? And honestly, this is more of a conversation piece. When you got it out and you're at work and people see it and you're like, hey, they're like, what do you got there? Because, I'm all about also a case knife that doesn't have a shield. Because if you carry them and you're using them, that shield's going to pop out eventually. At least the ones I got to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm always happy when they do because I have adhesive that's like a lot higher quality than the stuff that they have. Yeah. And they assembled it. And so if I feel like it's going to pop out, I'll just try to work it out on purpose so I don't lose it in the field.
I got lucky
back in there with
I
better
think it
stuff.
was probably a month ago. I was at work and I was cutting my sandwich or something, and I looked down, and the shield on this one had popped out. Now I carry that belt, that pancake sheath.
Okay.
But I was like, oh crap, man. I immediately took that sheath off, and that shield, I don't know how it was in the bottom of that pancake sheath.
Oh, okay.
So I sanded all that excess gunk, all that glue. I got it all out of there and just touched it up with some light sandpaper and re-glued it in there. So I don't think that's ever going to come out. Use that E3000 stuff or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And, back to case knives that don't have shields. I got this one here. Now, Richter used to own this one here. This is that back pocket single blade.
Right.
With the half stops. He traded it to Doom Crew, traded it to him for, I believe, a copper lock of some kind. And, of course, I had that orange Harvest corncob jig, and Doom Crew wanted that one. So he offered this one here in a trade, and I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll take it and see what it's like. And, because it doesn't have a shield. And I actually ordered, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, I found the tribal lock to match this.
Oh, wow.
And it's on the way right now. I wish it'd been here in time.
Another set to complete.
Yeah. And I found the canoe, but I got that new rule of if it's not 4 inches.
Okay.
But it's part of a set. So do I?
You got a dilemma in your own qualifications there.
Yes.
You got to buy the set. That's the rule. And
it's on St. Nick's Knives. The canoe is, and I believe it's only $66.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I mean, I'll probably pull the trigger on that, so I can have 3 of those matching. I like how they did the tested double X on the bolster.
What's the name of the material? What are they calling that?
This is going to be olive green bone Russell jig.
Yeah, the Russell jig. Okay.
Yeah, and it's got look how long that box is.
Yeah, it's a bigger one. A little bigger box.
Yeah. So like I said, a majority of my knives are case knives, and here's one actually that Pete will probably be watching this, so let's give a shout out to Pete. He actually gifted a few of us these sod busters, and I just started using it immediately, and it got a nice patina on it.
Yeah.
Use it. I use it every day. I used it probably every day for 2 months.
Is that CS carbon still?
This is the CS. Yes, you are correct.
Same as the yellow one I have. I got the yellow Delrin one.
Yeah.
Synthetic, whatever they're calling it now.
Now, I can show you a real.
So, is there any of the case patterns you're not a fan of? Like you probably would never get one.
I'm going to be honest with you, a canoe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan of it, but we were at that hardware store, and they got the dang event knife, right?
Yeah.
And I told myself going over there, I was like, I even told JL, so I'm not buying that crappy canoe, because all the other events, they had like a 75 or a trapper.
Okay.
So at the one we go to, they got a stinking canoe.
A stinking canoe.
But I pulled the trigger and bought it, and I'm glad I did, because, what if I can never make it to another one of those again? What if they don't have it there next year? I just don't, you just don't know. So I did buy it. So, it's growing on me. It does have blade rub, where the pin blade tang kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but right up here at the tip, probably ain't even going to show up, but it does have a little bit of blade rub right there. But, it's kind of special because it has the actual event that you go to and stuff on it. And it's got
the thing I found with the canoe, and I don't know if maybe you've experienced this too, but you have to be very careful how you open and close the blades, because your hand will push the other blade in the path of the other blade if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And
so
when
it's for me, it wasn't as much blade rub as it was idiot opening and closing the knife.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of user error there. So.
Yeah. And, you got a nice certificate of authenticity came with it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I want to say it was $80 or something like that. And So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger. Of course, Byron Kennedy was over there, and he's like, "You got to get the event knife." So I just.
I'm guessing, though, seriously, though, I'm betting if you'd have found something more that you wanted off of the shelf, that you probably wouldn't have got it, right? Because you only bought like 3 other knives, right?
Well,
total.
I bought 3 knives total. I bought 2 for myself and 1 for Sarah, because I didn't go over there with a ton of money, because I said I'm only going to take this much because we got so much. Well, I got Lee. I got to support Lee when he comes to the flea market. And so, and then I was sending her short videos, and she was like, I want that one. So I bought her a nice green trapper and brought it back to her. But, here's a canoe this is a single spring canoe. It's a Winchester made by Queen, of course. So like I said, we talked before this, I tell you, like my collection's all over the place. I started out really wanting to get these, but the price on these climbed so high. You know what I mean? And it's because they're made by Queen and Shat and Morgan. And, if you look at these now, if you go on eBay and try to find these Winchester cartridge series knives, like $150. And, you're like, yeah. You can get 2 case knives for that,
If it's that much there, it's even worse over here. You forget it over here.
Yeah, there's some real hardcore lovers of those style knives, and that drives the price up. The demand for those is pretty high, so that definitely has an effect on the aftermarket price.
And you can't find a ton of them, so you got to kind of, because they made all kinds of versions of those, and I got the matching, the moose to go along with it. I found this on eBay.
There you go, Slippy. He doesn't have a moose yet. So
you don't have a moose? I actually just gave one to Cal. If you've watched Cal's one of his recent videos, I sent him a Remington. It's a muskrat, but it's more of a moose pattern like this.
Right, so that sort of moose I can get on with. It's the Rough Rider one I really despise.
It's got that real strange looking spay blade.
Swept spay blade.
I don't even know. It's like almost like a kukri, and it's weird. Yeah. I don't know.
And the reason I gave Cal that one, he's big into 88 year knives, and it's the only knife I had that was stamped with the year 1988. And it was new old stock, had the box, the paperwork, everything. So I was like, because he sent me a 76 Saudi,
It's an old one, huh?
Yeah.
You feel like that one's built better than the newer one?
Oh yeah. I got I got a 74 regular sodbuster, and this thing will bite you, All
right. So what aspects of the knife are better, would you say? The older one?
Just
action, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is just tight. And of course, in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have a lot of these that were coming out in carbon steel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were mostly stainless.
So back when I was coming up in the late 80s, early 90s, this is what I'd carry, but it would be in stainless steel.
And then barbershop guys would rip you apart.
Yeah.
What is that?
Get bullied for your stainless steel. Go home, cry.
Yeah. So
I've been bullied over a few blade steels in my day.
Yeah.
Have I not, Slippy?
But it was nice that I had this 74, and he sent me a 76. So it was really nice of him. And he also sent me a 76 case penknife stab.
Oh, that's neat. Little thing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when he sent it to me. Because I
can hear the action on that. That's fantastic.
Because we were talking about our birth dates, I think maybe before the live started, because Kevin don't have a lot of time to watch videos. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of giving him a rundown. I was like, I think Cal was born in 88. So we just started talking about it because I noticed he kind of really gravitated towards 88, Kevin towards 87. Me, I don't care, Yeah. And Cal was just paying attention to that and sent me these 2 76 model knives. So shout out to Gunslinger Cal.
So you're not as old as me, but you're still older than Slippy.
Yeah.
Everyone's older than me.
Well, how old is Slippy?
I'm 32.
Okay. So he's coming up, man. And you already got a killer. He's already got a killer collection. So when he's our age, his shit's going to be his stuff is going to be out of control.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm going after Rick. I'm going to be Rick.
Yeah. Well, you got a good start, so
Yeah.
You know, but I could show a pride and joy. You know, this right here is the sleeve board Whittler. You know,
That's
I'd seen. Yeah, it's stag. Warthog's actually got one of these, and then kind of right after I seen his video on it, Lee picked one of these up.
Is the XX stamped into the blade?
Oh yeah.
Is the swedge just on the one side?
No, it's on both sides.
Okay.
So there's the pile side.
That's
it's hard to get the right lighting. And this is a 1990 model.
Okay.
But the smaller blades aren't the easiest to get out. And you know, with these ones, you got to be careful when you're opening and closing them. And
open the main blade first, otherwise you're going to rub everything to bits. Yeah, I know.
But look at that coping blade.
That's
that pin blade on that thing. And the stag is pretty decent on it. You know.
The stag looks great.
But this wasn't your run-of-the-mill, I'm going to get a BigJ deal. You know, I did talk him down. $75.
This is Lee again we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked him down $75 to get this. But
that's still pretty good discount.
Yeah. So it's
way cheaper than anything I'd pay over it for a case knife.
Very nice.
But this is kind of my pride and joy. And you guys always hear me talk, probably, the box.
Oh, yeah, you are a box guy, right? Yeah, you're a box
guy. I am. I'm self-admitted. All my knives sit on top of the boxes.
When you start talking about this as being something.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't get the sticker on yours, Jerry.
I know. My wife orders from Shepherd Hills, and she's got the boxes with the Shepherd Hills stuff on it.
There you go.
Yeah, she's ordered a couple off of Shepherd Hills. But those are
that one there is my pride. Heard our discussions on boxes, but like we're so annoyed with the size of these big boys.
Not even that.
And then you've got the Marbles exhibition series.
Oh yeah,
massive. It's like eight times the size of the knife.
And it makes you wonder. I mean, for the price that you guys get those for, I'm just like, they got to make them, they got to ship them. They got those big boxes,
right?
They're putting stuff.
You know, and then you get Jersey in the comments say, "Hey, just rip that foam out and use it for storage."
Yeah,
you can put like 12 knives in there.
Yeah, like I got a roll-away tool chest to the left of me.
Yeah.
I got them all in there because I got a desk now, and my son built a gaming computer, and he actually gave that to me this weekend. So
okay.
But here's a nice little piece. Also, this is a 77. So last year they made these little cigar jacks, and the bone on it is just kind of beautiful. It's got one little chip in it, but you know, I got this for probably $30, I want to say. But again, it was the last year they made them. And I just really love the style of a cigar knife, cigar style pattern.
Yeah.
So, and then
that reminds me a lot of the this pattern here. I'll have to look at the number. I haven't devoted it to memory here, but
this one is
medium jack. Are you familiar with the model number on that? This is the 87. Is that what you just had? No,
I got the 55.
Yeah, there you go. But that's 87 pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Just the black synthetic, plain, nothing special. But
and then one of our supporters had some of these extra pumpkin boxes.
Oh, cool.
So I got this sitting on top of that pumpkin box. But then Lee gave me an entire suitcase of case boxes that are in order. Yeah, just an entire suitcase of them.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy. I see it on eBay all the time. They sell just the boxes or something, you know.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's just collectors will go nuts just to have a box, even if it's not the right one. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like Bark River. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. You guys familiar with Bark River knives?
Yeah, the fixed blades. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't own one, but I've seen them on your channel, and I think Jersey has quite a few as well.
Yeah, he's he likes them battle horse knives, and I got one of them battle horse knives, and I used it once, and it dulled like crazy. So I don't know if they just burnt the edge out on the knife when they had it on the slack belt, but I've resharpened it. I want to retest it. But if it does it again, I'm just going to tell them, I'm going to send it back and have them mess with it and see what they can do. But, you look at a box like this and you got the awesome end tags on them and stuff like that. But this is kind of my favorite fixed blade knife. And this is the Gunny. And I just gave one of these to my son, my oldest son, for Christmas. But his is in 3V with liners and stuff. But this is just a basic A2 Bark River Gunny. And just my absolute favorite fixed blade knife.
So what does that set you back?
This one here is only an A2, so you're looking at probably about 180 to $200.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, I got it off DLT trading, but when I got it, it was, it had a ramp because some of them come with ramps. So I had the ramp removed. I sent it back to Bark River. They removed the ramp. They put a full height convex grind on it because most of them are saber ground. And then I had them sharpen the all the spine of the knife as well, so I can scrape the ferro rods a lot easier. Because I do like going out and sitting with my chickens and sit at the stump, and I'll build a fire just for practice, and it kind of just helps me unwind a little bit. And sometimes I'll video it, sometimes I don't, but that's kind of my favorite style fixed blade is that Gunny right there. But I've been picking up a lot of Westerns lately. I think I don't know if you guys see me at the top of that show. Yeah, I like them a lot too. But this is that Battle Horse. I bought it. And it's more of your bushcraft style knife. But you look, I did resharpen it on a stone. So you can tell it's been stonework there. And it'll shave your legs and cut right through paper. But, when I got this out of the box, I took it out there and I just batoned with it. Did some feather sticking, and after that I couldn't even get it through a piece of paper. Where my them BPS knives, I paid $35 for it, did the exact same test.
Yeah. When
I was done, it just slid right through the paper.
And those are really affordable, right? Those Russian made?
Yeah, Ukrainian.
Ukraine.
So I guess when you buy these, a portion of the funds that you use to buy these go towards the Ukrainian army. I guess that's what I've heard, but
okay,
I could be just making that up too. Again, but it's a very similar style knife as that Battle Horse.
Yeah, It looks very similar.
Yeah, so if you look, just the Battle Horse is a lot heavier, and this is 01 tool steel, and this is I think 1066. Is that right? 1066 carbon steel, maybe.
I'm not sure.
And for this thing that costs $35 to outperform something that's 180.
Yeah, something's not right with that. They've done something. They've messed it up.
Yeah, what I figure happened was they just held it on the belt. They probably made it on a Friday. They wanted to get the heck out of there. They got it on the belt, and it probably just heated the edge of it so much. So you probably got to sharpen it down a few times to get to that good steel again.
Yeah.
We'll see. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. But you guys like buck knives too, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
Well, you guys like the 112 Sport Pro?
112 Sport Pro. That's a nice one. Yep.
Probably my favorite modern carry now is this knife right here. I just love it. And I think it's just due to the thickness of the handle. You can still manipulate it one-handed, which I like that a lot. You can close it and open it one-handed.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be kind of careful on the closing, but to be able to just pull it out of your pocket, open it one-handed, and then you can put your thumb back there and just kind of.
Well, even if you don't shake it, you can put it on your pant leg and just kind of.
Yeah, and the thickness is what I mean. You got big hands. It's just nice to use that as opposed to. And me and Slippy were talking about this when you reset your modem.
Oh yeah,
the Slim Select.
Yeah, I much prefer like the chunkier handle one compared to the thin one.
Yeah, you look at the difference in these.
Now, what was your model, Slippy? What model did you have?
Slim Pro TRX.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's similar. It's got the G10 and the S30V. So similar to the Slim Select. Just upgraded a couple bits.
But I really wasn't a buck guy. I probably only had $5 or $6 when I kind of started hanging with Boston. Once we started talking back and forth, and now he's buying a lot of case knives. I'm buying a lot of bucks. It just
Yeah,
you and Slippy are probably the same. You guys play rub off on each other.
Yeah, a little bit.
Victorinox.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, man. Hey, but I tell you what, this thing right here, the walk and talk on this thing is crazy.
It's amazing, like how well it locks up for the pull string. That's what I've always just been like. How come no one else can do that like they do?
I don't understand it.
It's like a 5, but it's like a 7 to break. It makes no sense.
Yeah, to break it, it's like 7, 8, but to pull it, it's like 5. It's just it's mind blowing. I don't understand how they do it.
Yeah, and of course I got this at a flea market or something. I paid probably $3 for it, and it just lives on my keychain now.
Yeah,
sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't. It's just nice to have that on your keychain.
I call Victorinox the most underappreciated knife because everybody carries them, but when you say where's your EDC, they don't show it, even though the damn knife's on their keychain.
Yeah, that's very true.
They just take it for granted, like, oh, it doesn't, Yeah. But yeah.
So I started picking up more of those. My problem is I just give them away. Like Kevin loves to collect them.
Yeah.
So if I'm sending him something, I usually throw a Victorinox in there too sometimes and just ship them to him because he really appreciates it. He carries them every day and uses them every day.
Right.
He's got more of a manual labor job than I do. So, but a 112 I got that just blew my mind was this one right here. This drop point S30V one.
Right. Is that like the web special one?
No, I think I got this off the Bucks website. I don't know if what you call it. Maybe it is a Buck web special. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of.
I know there's one you can buy just online. That might be it. I can't remember.
But just the feel of this and the look of it, and me and Kevin, we both got them at the same time. Now we're like, we're going to carry these. We're going to buy them and we're going to carry them. Well, I got mine, and I immediately told him, I was like, I'm not carrying this thing, man. It's just too nice. It is just way too nice. And he's like, I think you're correct. So we haven't carried them since we bought them. But, you got it just in case you need to. But kind of my first 112 was this one with the finger grooves.
Yeah. That's one of the finger groove knives that I like most because it don't put the depth of them to the point where they don't fit your hand, They don't. Yeah. They're versatile that way.
Well, and there is a difference too. If we look out here at your finger choil, the finger choil on the regular ones are a lot more pronounced than the finger choils on the finger groove ones. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just one thing that I really noticed off the bat about those. So. Yep. And then, of course, I picked up this jewel probably 2-3 weeks ago. Pre-86 Duke.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I know Jersey had problems with his. You experienced any issues with yours, blade rock or anything?
Well, mine's a pre-86. He bought one of those.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Just never mind. So, there's no problem. That's going to be fine.
Yeah. He got those and was sending me pictures of because I really wanted one, but after he kind of showed that to me, I'm like, I don't think I want a new one. I never really did want a new one. I wanted an older micarta one. Mm-hmm. And I was on All About Pocket Knives, and me and Tyler Gibson were talking kind of all day long because I was mad because I lost a GEC drop. I got this money. It's burning a hole in my pocket. So I go on All About Pocket Knives, and I seen that one for I think it was like $85. No sheath, no box. But I pulled the trigger on it, and when it came, it was just shined up. There's no flaws in it whatsoever. And for a pre-86 to look this good with, I don't think it's ever even been sharpened.
Yeah, it doesn't look used at all.
No. Yeah. So I immediately went on Buck's website and I bought a sheath for it. But I am on the hunt for an authentic sheath if those are easy to, I don't know how easy or hard those are to come by, but if I find one, I'll definitely pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, I got lucky with mine. I found one it was online, still had it in stock, but just like one left. And I think it was probably around mid 90s, something like that, but no issues with it. And then they went away, and I'm like, okay. And then Jersey's like, hey, they come back out. You got to get one. I'm like, I already got one.
Yeah.
And he bought one, and it's Blade Rock, and he was like, oh, I felt bad for him.
He got two, and I think both. One of them, the blade is laying on the liner.
Oh, man,
so yeah,
inexcusable, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with them, but now I won a 503 from the Knife Doctor, which I love this little thing. It's kind of just a smaller version of the
505.
Yeah. And then, of course, the 55.
Sorry.
You got the 55.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be
for a long time, probably one of my favorite buck knives until just kind of moved on. I've got so many lockbacks now that I just kind of appreciated some other ones instead. But
yeah,
we tried to send that one over to RJ. I don't know if you know the story. So me and Tom were on live one night or one Sunday, and we were like, hey, RJ doesn't have a 55, and he's always
trying to bully
talking
him into
about how
a
it's too
55
expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we'll just chip in and get you one. And before I knew it, Tom had already sent him his. And then RJ had it for 2 months and sent it back. It's like, I can't keep this.
Yeah.
I can't keep it. So I don't know. It's one of those knives though I like a lot. And I'm like you. I like those 3 3/4 inch lockback size designs.
Yeah.
Just something I carry every day, or not every day, but a lot. I have the Heritage Series 50TH that I carry, the old timer, and I'll show you this one really quick. This is another that Jersey sent me, that Boker Gentleman's 2.0.
Yeah,
and so that looks a lot like a tribal lock.
Oh yeah,
maybe just a touch smaller, but yeah, a lot like a tribal lock.
I love the drop point blades, the design of those.
So versatile, man.
Yeah, they're really growing on me.
Yeah, I really wanted to buy the one of the newer Bear and Son model old timers, but I just never pulled the trigger on them.
Oh yeah, the generational series.
Yeah, I really wanted to get those, but it seemed like I was always running into something different or chasing something different. So
they're quite expensive for what you're getting, but the bone on them is really nice.
Well, these things right here, what are these? $70, $69?
60, 65 now, I think, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A lot for a little knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why the smaller knives are not a little less expensive, but I mean, they're essentially the same price as your 110s and 112s.
Yeah.
If they just make fewer of them, so their production costs are higher.
And, you can get this. I paid, I think, $43 for this at Royal King. They had one of them bucket deals where whatever you fit in a bucket's so much off. So
oh yeah, okay.
To be able to get this for 40 some compared to this for, and if you buy this off a website, you got to spend $100 to get free shipping.
Right.
So unless you're getting it off a site, yeah. Me, I really.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they had that. They've had a couple of different versions of the Buck 110 that were really, really good deals. Like SMKW had theirs.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, that had the different type blade. That's the I want to say S30V.
Yep, I bought one.
And it's like, what was it? It was like 45.
It was $49.99.
Yeah, something like that.
And then I got it delivered for $54.
Yeah, right. So it was less expensive than the other one with a higher quality steel. And then he had the recent 120th anniversary of Buck from Walmart. That was like, I don't know. That went down to some people were buying it in store for $22.
Yes, it was crazy, and people were buying 10 and 15 of them at a time.
Yeah, we were still the coin in the pack as well in that display case. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it would turn into a GEC all of a sudden. The eBay flippers were going and buying them. Put them on eBay for $100.
Well, they were never. I was never. I don't think I would have bought it if it'd been more than a normal buck. But
yeah,
it's just funny how just by way that Walmart's pricing it, that they are making some significant margins on these knives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So no one's hurting when you buy a 110. I can promise you.
Yeah.
No chance.
I did bring one out for Slippy. I really thought about the both of you, and I got this thing right here.
No. Our favorite
Bulldog?
blade.
Bulldog?
Oh, yeah, the Bulldog.
Old
Soligen
reliable.
made.
Old reliable.
Yeah, but it says English steel on it.
Mm-mm.
Soligen Germany. And then on this side.
Soligen Germany, English steel. That doesn't seem like a good match.
Yeah, 1985. It says it right there on the tang. English steel, which I don't know why it says that, but
Crazy.
that circled writing right there says English steel with 1985 in the middle of it.
Probably bought some Sheffield steel in.
Yeah, probably must have. But it is stamped Soligen as well. So they, like you said, they must have bought some Sheffield steel and had this made of. And Messer HQ, I did a video on this, and he's like, that's a first generation series. He kind of gave me that. He knows all about these and was kind of telling me about it. But I figure I'll bring out some Sheffield steel for you. And then, of course, these things.
The Taylor's Eyewitness.
Mm-hmm.
Quintessentially British Barlow.
These things will bite you now. It's crazy. The walk and talk on these for.
Oh, those and the Arthur Wrights.
I love watching people open those knives. Because you can always tell somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience with pocket knives when they try to open that.
Yeah. And then, well, actually, when I was in the hospital, when I got hospitalized when I was on vacation, I think Jersey and Randy WSG both sent me links to buy that. So I'm in the car trying to get home, in pain, trying to build an account to buy that off of AAPK. But, I think Jersey sent me this one here.
I think I was the one that kind of got the word out about where to get them, because Jersey was telling everybody once I explained where it was you could get them.
Yeah.
And I noticed a massive amount of them like missing the following couple days. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Maybe I could have just kept my mouth shut.
All them YouTubers, man. All them YouTubers.
Yeah.
But I got the entire 700 series too. I don't know. I think we may have touched on that, but there's two.
Yeah,
I think
those are really good value little knives there.
Yeah, 5 in the series. They remind me of like gentleman's knives until you get to the 701, which is a beast. It's kind of bigger knife with 3 springs, and like I said, the main spring on mine is a little wonky. That they didn't have that in the eBay description, but then the blade tip needs some work too, which I can fix that pretty easy. But there just isn't a lot of walk and talk on that blade. But
yeah, you can see the return's not real good on that one.
Yeah, they don't tell you about that when you're buying them. So
no, funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, but then you're like, do I just kind of live with it and put it in my collection.
Yeah,
and I'll run into a better one eventually, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, it's not like it's a user at all, though, is it? It's a collection piece, so it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, it just sits on a display table. That's all it does. But I got some GECs too. I know you guys kind of want me to kind of give a rundown of what all I've got, but I got this one recently, the Cody Scout. I was trying to get these on drop and whatnot, and I couldn't ever find one. Then on eBay, they're like almost $300, and I'm just like, I'm not overpaying for another GEC. I did it one time. I'll never do it again. So I kind of know a guy, and I reach out to him. He's like, hey, do you have an extra one? I really wanted a micarta one. And he's like, I got a micarta one, but it has the blade rock. And he said, I don't feel comfortable selling it to you. He said, but I got the Chechen rosewood one. He said, I'll send it to you. And if you like it, you can send me money. And he sent it to me, and I fell in love with it. And the whole intent was me to buy one of these to make a user.
Yeah.
But the micarta one's got the satin blades, and that's why I wanted. They got a plain, there's no billboarding on the blade. But this is just, it's got that high polish finish with that north field on the blade. So I'm like, I can't take this out and beat it up like I do my other stuff. So it just lives in the tube.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. If I had a guy, and I guess if I'd tried harder to find a guy, I probably would have already had a guy. But the fact is, I don't want to do that because I just feel like I don't want to be the guy that's like cheating somebody else out of a knife.
Yeah. So that's the only one that's the only one I reach out to him for. And and those Vipers come out not too long ago, probably a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Jersey was like, "You just reach out to your guy." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that on every drop." I did it with the Cody Scout. If there's something further down the line,
it's pretty obvious Jersey has a guy too. It's pretty darn obvious.
Jersey definitely has. He has multiple guys. It's not
you
just
have to.
I mean, he never misses a drop. How does that happen?
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I was about ready to buy a nail and two, trying to get one of the, on a drop. I was just trying, and I couldn't because.
But to Jersey's credit, I'm not trying to bash on it because I know he's been doing it since like 07, and he probably has built rapport with somebody, and that's fine, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah. It's just that's just another hoop that I don't want to have to jump through, personally. Yeah. And if I, the one time that I was able to get a GC was the same as you. I was able to catch it on a drop. So
yeah, I was getting quite a few, like the 235s I got 235s, and I had no problem getting these on a drop. Got the Johnny on the spot, then the cattle knife. And I got them from DLT, because I got a dual monitor computer, and I was able just to have everything ready.
Hey, this is the hoops I'm talking about right here, Jerry.
You got to
dual monitors.
It's not even a buying setup. You've got a buying setup. That's what you've got.
Yeah, well, you got to be able to copy and paste. Like if you've got to put that credit card number in again, because sometimes they'll make you confirm that, right? So you copy your credit card number and you get it ready to paste, because if by chance they want to verify you, to make sure this is really BigJ buying it, you got to be ready. So, but that's how I was able to get a few GECs off of DLT. I was just you had to be quick. But the bad thing is, they do it during working man hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they're doing them at like what 11 and 12.
And it's an intentional thing too. They don't do it after hours.
Yeah, so it's like. And I got a theory. I don't know if you want to hear it, but my theory is with GEC, I believe that the distributors are getting them, and then say they get 200, right? I believe they're selling 180 to eBay flippers at a markup, 15, 20% markup to eBay flippers. Then they're saving 20 for a drop, because these drops are lasting seconds now.
Yeah, I don't. You could be right, but the number that they sell online, there's no way they're getting 200.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be they would last a little longer, but I mean, I'm pretty quick with it, and I couldn't even touch one on this last cycle, and I'm just done with it. It's too hard to get, and then
I'm not about waiting for drops. It's too stressful for me. It's too much going on.
Oh, yeah, it makes your stomach hurt. It does me. I'm sitting there and I'm all nervous. And then when you do get it, you're hyperventilating because you actually got it. And you're like, you need a bag to breathe in.
Yeah, proper fangirling over it when you finally get it. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But it is what it is.
The knife obsession is real when you need a bag for hyperventilation.
Jerry's in there hyperventilating. You get the AED machine.
Yeah, what's wrong with Jerry?
Get a defibrillator.
He'll be fine in a minute. Just ignore him. He's just bought a knife.
Yeah. But here's the one I actually overpaid for. I kind of wanted the Sodbuster style.
Yeah.
And this is called the Sudbuster, right? Which is kind of gimmicky. I think it is. Because it has
two bladed Sodbuster. Well,
where
have I heard about this before? Did you watch that program?
Yeah.
Did you watch that live that we had where we built the knife?
No.
Okay, so what we did is we had the perfect knife. That was like our, little promotion, like building the perfect knife. And so then we let everybody vote on what they would like. And it ended up being this hideous 2-ended Sodbuster with 2 blades.
Yeah.
Like, this is why you don't leave these decisions to the masses.
bolstered front and back, stag. It wasn't like a drop point and what was the secondary blade, like a worn clip or something stupid.
I don't even remember.
Well, and my whole idea with this one was to use it too, to make it a user. Get it. Too nice. Keep it in the tube.
Yeah.
But it's just a.
Here, you got an Imperial 22. I mean, right? I mean, doesn't everybody have one of those?
You can bash.
If not, you need one. If not, you need one. And it's just, it's cheap. It's not going to give you the fizz, but whenever you go to cut something, it works.
Yeah. Yep. And I've honestly just been beating on these case knives. Because that's what I grew up carrying. So it's kind of been nice to go through the whole, I want some moderns, or I want some of this other stuff, or I want some fixed blades. And now I'm back to, carrying a case.
Okay, let me ask you this. Now, where
Yeah.
you use your knife, are the floors carpeted?
Oh, where are you? No.
Not
No.
always.
Man, I tell you, when I go to the gym, like I'm very bad about not taking my sheath off. And that pancake sheath, I just have this thing just in there. It's probably why the shield fell out, honestly. But this thing has hit the tile
But you got
floor.
like concrete floors in the gym, right?
Tile floor and just skid across the floor.
Right.
And
see, that's why I always worry about carrying a bone handled knife. Because I know if it drops on that center pin, goodbye, crack.
Yeah.
Done. Game over.
Well, it happened to Doom Crew at work. A guy was wanting to see his knife, and he's a machinist. And, it's concrete floor, and he handed it to the guy, and it slipped out of his hand and chipped when it hit the floor.
All right.
So, what do you...
In that SMKW knife, I learned my lesson on that one. I was doing the review for it, took it outside. I had a rag I'd wrapped it in to polish it before the photo so it wouldn't have fingerprints all over that magnet. Right? And I dropped it straight down onto the concrete driveway.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I guess we're just taking a picture with bumps and all on this one.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about that, it was a $49 knife. So,
yeah, I got it cheap, right? So I wasn't too crazy mad. But
some guy commenting saying, "Oh, it's worthless now. You can't sell it now."
Yeah, but I was a sailor for about 12 seconds on myself there. That was.
I've actually dropped this one. I was doing what you were talking about, doing photos.
Yeah.
And I had it in my hand, and I had it open. I went to close it. It slid out of my hand, and I got in where I used to have my knife room, had a laminate flooring. And it hit the laminate, and so I got lucky on that.
Right.
But in this room here, it's carpet with a rug on top of the carpet. So
double carpet.
I'm double carpeted in here.
A nice safe room.
Yeah, I took the middle bedroom, and it used to be a guest bedroom, and I just I'm getting rid of the bed, and I'm making my own little office, and it is what it is.
You don't need guests anyway.
No.
All right, so let me try to kind of sum up your collection here, and let me see if I'm getting this right. Primarily case, primarily all traditional. You like lock back knives, and you want the carbon steel blades unless it's a. What was the rule there again?
Over 4 inches. So you hit that.
4 inches.
Yeah, you hit the copper lock and the tribal lock and the trappers and the 75s, stuff like that. I'll get that in stainless steel. That's my new rule now. Whether or not I stick to it, because that canoe,
probably not.
So probably not the canoe.
All right.
To match
and your fixed blades, you like Bark River, but you haven't shown any buck fixed blades, have you today?
No, I haven't. I've only got 3. I'm on actually 4. I see 4. I got 2 105s, a 119, and a 102.
So Kevin's influence on the buck knives has been more for the folders then.
Yeah, well, I had that really nice 102, that 87 model that had the custom sheath. The buck, I don't know if you ever seen that, but it's an 87 model, and he had always hinted about wanting that. And I'm like, dude, I'll trade you a 102 for a 102. If you got one you want to trade, I'll just trade you. So we did a trade, and he sent me a newer model 102 for that 87 model.
Yeah, and that's great that you can do that, because sometimes there's like people that it's going to mean more to them than it would you, and that's just like a perfect time to trade. You know what I mean?
And I paid $5 for it. So
okay, well that didn't hurt either.
Well, I paid 5 for this too. It's a 65 through 69 large toothpick.
Don't you love it when people don't know what they've got?
Yeah, a yard sale right up the road.
Yeah.
3 houses away.
I got a USA made 12 OT for like £15, which is like pennies for over here. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I've never clicked buy it so quickly in my life.
And this thing's got the gator snap, and it's a 65 through 69.
Yeah.
And after I cleaned it up, I took it back up there and showed him.
Like, man, you made that look nice. There you go.
Yeah. And I got the westerns. I got probably 6 westerns.
Yeah, that's I tease you all the time, but that's one of those boot and the cherries knives that you love to tease us with. Yeah, when you tell us what a great bargain you got, I'm like, where the hell are these things going? Because I can't ever find a $5 case.
Yeah. But I love this Western knife here. I got a lot of, I got 5 of these for $150.
Okay, Jerry.
So, but you probably hear me and Kevin talk about it once in a while, but on the weekends I get in the car and I just go, whether it's to a flea market, yard sales, estate sales. I get in the car and just go, and I try to hunt for deals. Honestly,
yeah,
it's all part of the chase.
I guess if I was more willing to go places, I would probably do better, that sort of thing. But just in our immediate area here, there's not anything like that.
At least you guys have got places to go. There's no.
Yeah, like Randy, he'd go a block away or something like this.
Randy goes out his front door and they're just all there waiting for him.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I've gotten lucky.
What was the deal he got? Like 12 knives?
He got 12 case knives for like $30, I think it was, or older knives for like $30.
Good Lord. Well, I don't get deals like that. That's kind of a good one, but I got this old 30s marbles, and it didn't look like this was my first YouTube video I ever did. I got this at an estate sale, and again, it didn't look like this when I bought it. And my first video was me cleaning this up, and kind of bringing it back to life.
I remember that.
Then I had Jo make this sheath for it.
Yeah.
So Warthog actually bought this exact knife not too long ago, and he actually was sending me emails, and I'm like, dude, it's just like mine. And you look at the pommel, how clean it is. Because usually those are all wallered out. From someone back in 1950, it gets a little loose. They put some needle nose pliers in there and start torquing on it, and the brass starts doing what it does.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Is there a special wrench you were supposed to use with that or something?
Yeah, you can buy them off of DLT Trading sells them. It's honestly like those little. It's like a little 2-prong tool you would see, like the old Craftsman screwdrivers for your keychain. It's got 2 prongs that come out and you just put it in there.
Well, I was thinking more like that golfing tool that you use to tighten your cleats.
Yes, it kind of looks very similar to that, just with the shorter prongs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got you look at here's another Bark River. This thing's a beast.
That's a chunky boy.
Yeah, it's a 1/4 inch thick.
Is that a flat grind?
No, it's got the saber. So that's what I was talking about.
I can see it now.
They're saber ground when you get them, and they are starting to now make them in a full convex.
Okay.
And so you can buy them like that now. But I sent that gunny back and had Bark River do it. I think it cost me $25, so it wasn't bad. And
whatever you like to have done to it, pretty much.
Yeah. They'll and then of course they got spa treatments and they're guaranteed for life. And
no
matter what happens,
where are they out of?
Escanaba, Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah. But I've never used that. I've never even. Matter of fact, the sheath is still wrapped up in the.
Well, I was always thinking that they were more expensive than that, but if they've got a knife in the $200 range, now I'm interested. I'll have to buy one of those.
Now this one here, it's got the liners, but you can get them in black canvas micarta with no liners. Probably this exact knife for $235, $240.
Okay. So just a bit over 200. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've pre-ordered a couple, and I've got another one on pre-order right now. The PSK EDC, so it's a personal survival knife, everyday carry. So it's like a little pocket dropper fixed blade in Magna Cut. But here's the Bushcraft Scout. I got this on a pre-order. You pay $25 up front, and then you just have to pay the rest whenever the knives are actually made and sent to the distributor. But,
okay.
But if you ever watch the Dutch Bushcraft Boys, you ever watch those guys?
I have, yeah. I have seen them.
They snapped one of these in two. They were just doing some light batoning, and where that jimping is, it snapped right there. So I really haven't done much with this after watching that video. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Just in case, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wanting Sarah to make me a pocket sheath for it.
Just the 110. They did a 110 video, and they just couldn't get over the blade still. 420, and then it's still pretty good for 420, but it's still 420. What I mean?
They are still snobs. I would say.
Yeah, they are. But the way that they use those knives, it's
extreme.
Batoning through frying pans and
yeah.
Who's doing that? I'm not doing that. No. As a matter of fact, I'm not a big knife guy. I'm not a guy who wants to carry around a knife with an 11-inch blade.
No.
That isn't me. If I'm going out to the woods camping or something, what do you need that for?
Right.
You know, I'm not out there swinging you look at some of those big blades, like them big work tough gear blades. That's not my speed. You know, I'm going to take the old Gom Boy and I'm going to use it for any sawing I need to do. You know, I'm not going to chop through.
Okay.
I'm not going to chop through wood to have firewood when I can just 3 strokes with that and, you're through it. So,
all right. Yeah. And it's like people think, well, when you go in someplace, you just want to throw a few, like your bug out bag or whatever together. I'm like, well, I mean, if I'm going somewhere like that, I'm going to take a toolbox, for saws, and I'm going to have a full size saw. I'm going to all the tools I require. But I guess some people just want to be able to not have to worry about all that sort of thing. But
yeah, and when you're swinging something like that, axes, hatchets they're dangerous. That's what most accidents, you usually slice your finger wide open.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just use that silky saw, and you can cut through stuff that bit, no problem at all.
Yeah. Right. Most anything you're going to need for camping for sure.
Yeah.
But, there's just different levels of what people expect out of the knife. And I think you're more in line with what I use it for. And our uses are more similar than a lot.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of that comes down to the expectation of the knife for what you want. And some people's expectations, in my mind, it's a little too extreme for what it is that they're trying to use it for. But I don't know. It's fun. Like everybody has their taste in blade steels. Like Slippy loves D2, and I'm more of a, like, if I just have my preference for any, I guess, blade steel, just 1095 for me, because I love the ability to get a super sharp edge real quick on the knife without spending a whole lot of effort.
Yep.
Yeah, stupid sharp in like no time at all.
But if I'm using a 448, which has got to be a large majority of the blade steel in my collection is 448, with the number of Rough Riders that I have, you just get good at sharpening that steel. Get good at it. Learn how it works.
And it just takes practice. I mean, a lot of people are like, "How do you get your edge?" Well, if someone actually went and just spent a day practicing, they would. Yeah. It honestly wouldn't take that long for them to pick it up.
I'd almost just say go buy a knife and whatever blade steel that you intend to buy your final knife in, and just do nothing but sharpen it for like a week, right? Like use it, mess it up, do whatever you're going to do, and come back, sharpen it. Just keep repeating that over and over until it becomes second nature too.
And some of these systems are dummy proof. I mean,
yeah, they really are pretty easy to use, some of these.
Yeah, like, well, no, you've got this, don't you? You've got this thing.
Yeah, right? I've got that. Yeah.
You're like me. You probably bought the original set, and then you had to buy the upgrade kit that was more than.
I was the idiot that did that. Yes.
I was the idiot for once.
Me too. Well, they didn't have it when I bought mine. That's just what they had when I bought mine.
Okay. Yeah, no, they had it, and I just decided to cheap out. But it was probably a week later I had the other one.
Yeah, it's like, need the rest now, damn it.
Yeah. But I was just talking to Slippy about maybe buying the upgrade at some point too, the elite one. So we'll see. But
yeah, because you can do smaller stuff with that, right? You can do smaller.
I mean, that's kind of how it's designed.
Okay.
I've got a method that I can use. I can sharpen even like a small Victorinox blade. So
okay.
I'm not saying that I would recommend that everyone try that. I don't try to put a really low edge on it. I keep it like 25 or whatever it's required.
Yeah. So a little pen blade though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't need it, for a blade that small, how hard are you going to, you're not going to use it for slicing and such. So you just get through some plastic or something. That's about all you need it for.
I use mine. I laid a 17-degree edge on this copper lock. Now I did put kind of a tall edge on it, but man, that son of a gun is slicey dicey. And this is just a beautiful knife. I think.
Is that a mini copper lock or regular?
No, it's regular. It's full size.
Okay, full size.
But that 17-degree edge, man. Where most case knives are.
Yeah,
they're probably 25.
25, something like that.
So I thought, that's a user for me anyway, and I thought I'll I want to.
Now, what do you think about standard case edges out of the box? Are you
they're
impressed,
horrible.
unimpressed? Not? You think they're bad?
They're the worst. They're the worst edge you can buy. I think. I don't know. Like a lot of knives I got still have the factory burr on them.
Yeah.
Like, you're cleaning your blade off and you can feel it ripping the cloth.
Right.
Like, I got one here actually. And I think you have this exact same. Well, I think I got it in. Oh, you've got this knife probably, TK.
Yeah, I do. 6.5 stag.
Yeah. It is. It still has the sharpened on Friday burr on the backside of it.
The Friday evening.
I don't know. As many times as I hear about cases edges, it may not have been a Friday. It may have just been the best of days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
So let me ask both of you guys, who do you think has the best edge factory-wise?
Oh,
I know, but it's a modern knife, so you're probably not going to be impressed with my answer. But Spyderco.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
It's a majority of it is the modern knives that have the better edge because they put more effort into it and things like that.
Yeah.
I think of the traditionals that I bought, just as far as like across the board on a brand. I would may have used to say Buck, but not anymore. Like they've got more.
I'd say Boker.
Yeah, Boker.
I say Buck. I just off of my experience now. The edge on this, when I got it, I almost sent it back. It was so horrible. Yeah. The grinds were. It went on one side. It wasn't even sharpened all the way to the tip. So I had to take this as soon as I got it and reprofile the entire edge on it. But all the rest of them are very good and they're very slicey. So
I think it just depends on what employee's doing in it, Buck.
Yeah, new guy.
Yeah, the new guy is not so good.
Yeah. You've been here a week. Get on the sharpening line over there.
Yeah, I would agree with you though. But like the older Bucks that I've had, they're real good.
Yeah,
and then the newer ones not so much.
So what were you saying, Slippy, about your favorite? What you think the best edges are?
Boker knives. I bought quite a few recently, and they've all been like screaming sharp. The Soldier ones, anyway. They've all been like stupid sharp out of the box. No real burr or anything on them. They're obviously not polished on the edges, but sharp enough you could just use it straight away without having to worry about it.
What about modern? What do you think?
I mean, my massive collection of Real Steel Lunas, I say Real Steel.
Okay. See, I'm not familiar with that brand.
Yeah.
But
Chinese, good. But they do N690 or D2, and they're.
Let me take back my answer, but this is like with a bunch of asterisks next to it.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people who bought Opinels that have been horrible in terms of their sharpness. Every one I've ever bought's been silly sharp.
Yeah.
Just stupid sharp.
Yeah.
But again, it just probably comes down to who's sharpening it,
I got one in my DLT cart. I just need to pull the trigger, because I had to put something in there to get the order over $100. So I'm just
right.
But Tom's coming down, so we're gonna do some antique store swinging. So if that doesn't work out for us, I'll pull the trigger on my DLT cart.
There you go.
So, I always got these carts filled up. You got to fill your carts up on different sites.
Man. I've always got carts filled up.
But you got to do it.
Times things don't make the cut too. Like they'll be just like, all right, delete, man. Like bring something else in there instead.
Yeah.
My big one right now that I'm really hesitant on pulling the trigger on is the single blade DLT exclusive trapper, the single blade.
Oh yeah, I've seen those going around. I think what RJ just did one review of that, right?
Yeah. I don't like the Warncliffe blade on, so I like the clip point blade.
I do too. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But the fit and finish on everyone's videos are just a little
bit wonky, huh?
There. Well, I mean, you've probably seen them, so.
Well, it's hard sometimes to see the quality of the knife when you're only listening and not watching.
Oh yeah. I got
sometimes that's all I've got time for. I think you know what I mean. But definitely. Just I've bought enough cases. I know what to expect. I know you're not always going to get the.
Well, and with me,
the Sal spray and please, this is a knife I really want the quality control to be pretty tight.
Yeah.
I'd give it about an 8. It wasn't perfect, but it could have been worse.
And if it's going to be a user, it don't bother me that bad. If it's going to be something I'm going to use, I don't care if it's got a gap. If I'm going to go out and beat the mortal daylights out of it,
right.
Because eventually it's going to wear and tear anyway. So
all I care about really is it's not got blade wobble. It doesn't rock back and forth.
Yeah, it's not rubbing the liner or something like that.
Oh, and the centering's not like a right angle inside the channel. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I've had some bent tips too on blades too. Not real fun either.
I know when I first got on YouTube, you maybe it was on RJ's Live or something, but you know, I was really bashing Case there for a while. You're like, hey, you know, they're having some difficulties with COVID and making a rebound from COVID and stuff like that. And it just seems like they're still, I don't know, man. Like you got to dig through them still.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm still going to buy them.
And to me, it's like obvious that they aren't where they were because I'll give you an example. Like Slippy went to that blade show over in Covington.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Coventry? Coventry. Sorry.
Coventry, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a fellow there who was selling, you know, new old stock stuff. And how old would you say this stuff was?
Oh, like some stuff I'd say like 80s, up to like 2010. So,
but pretty much everything they were digging through, like the quality control, the fit finish, was all.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that I would go no.
Yeah, it's
and they were like literally.
I bought is real tight, like it's done really well.
And he had just stacks and stacks of boxes, right? I mean, you're talking hundreds of them, right?
So he had like these big filing cabinets, maybe like 25, 30, all boxed up in a drawer, like 10 drawers, plus like 10 or 15 knife rolls, just all full of Case knives.
I'd been in heaven. I'd never gotten out of there. I'd probably had to spend the night.
He got so annoyed with us. He just said, "Go behind the table and go and look yourself." So we just got told, "This is me and Justin behind that, just looking through all the knives."
That's like me with Lee. I pull up a chair out there and just, you know, I talk to him. I want to catch up with him, of course. You know, he's 86, so you know, I want to spend as much time with him as I can when I'm out there. And you know, if my wife's got to work one weekend a month, so if it's on a weekend where she's working, I'll go back out on Sunday and just sit with him for a few hours, just to, you know, it's good to be around those guys. You know, you can learn a lot just by sitting there and just listening to what they're saying and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever, you know, if he's got a lot of the older stuff too, that you're not running into a lot of that with the praying when it gets here that it's not too bad.
Yeah, and he lets me dig through them. The newer stuff he gets, he does let me dig through them to make sure I get a good one. Like the buffalo horn, that wasn't the display he had out, and he had 3 more, so I got the best one out of the batch.
Yeah, but I told myself I wasn't going to ever start buying them and without, you know, sight unseen or anything like that, but it's just too inconvenient. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? You can't keep up. Like if that's what you're going to do, it's just, you're not going to be able to buy enough. I don't think, you know, as much as you want. I know I can't, because like right now I'm salivating over that dang single blade trapper. And the only way to get that thing is to get it from DLT Unseen.
DLT. Right.
Yeah. So it's situations like that where you're like,
and I mean, you can put notes on the cart saying, "Please, can you check it's a good one?" And they ain't gonna check it.
I think DLT will, but the other ones like Smoky Mountain and Shepherd Hills, they're just gonna throw whatever. Right. This is what you're getting, buddy. So
yeah, that's what's one good thing about Rough Rider is like if you ever get something just super wonky, they're really, really good about exchanging them for something else.
Yeah, but the other time you had one that was wonky, they didn't even exchange it. They just sent you another one, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't like saying this publicly, but apparently I'm going to now. But the thing is, they don't require you send the other one back the first time. Gotcha. But if you have a problem with that and the first knife, they ask that you send both back before you get the third.
Yeah.
So they're really good about that. Now, and I don't want anybody to take advantage of that. That's why I really don't mention it, because I know people will be like that.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, that is the reality of it. And I've even bought knives from Chicago Knife Works that, you know, was a Marbles or a Rough Rider, and they're still perfectly fine with exchanging it.
That's good.
And that, to me, that's like going way out of their way. I mean, They're not
DLT
making anything
will do
on
that.
Yeah,
DLT will do that. But matter of fact, the Bravo order, that wasn't the first one I got. The original one they sent me had a big chunk, a big mall spot in the micarta. So I sent it back up there, and they just, hey, I've only got one with liners. I'm gonna give it to you for the same price, and they sent me the one with liners. So that was pretty cool of them. They didn't have to do that, you know.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, they're inexpensive knives, but at the same time, I have some amount of say over the knife that I end up getting, you know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
with these recent ones, I don't know if you've seen these or even interested in these at all.
The Appaloosa
or BigJ, but yeah, just for what you get, it's just phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, they're built stupid good for the price they are.
So I mean, I'd
like
say this is
$70.
Yeah, when those things dropped, there must have been 100 videos on YouTube.
Really?
Dropped, when those first come out, like what, 2-3 weeks ago? And just
probably about 3 weeks.
My news feed was just, that's all it was.
Appaloosa.
You know, and I'm like, how many videos can I watch on it? You know, I'm like, you want to support the guy, the crew that you're kind of around, but you know,
right.
Man, I was like, this is the sixth one I've watched.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
well, they've got a lot of knives too. So like, even if, you know, it's an Appaloosa, there's going to be like more of them now because they've released like 3 more. So you'll see more of them coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's kind of like the Fox series they got, right?
Yeah, they had
that was a great
they actually have 3 different Fox series. They have like Desert Fox, they have the Red Fox, and they have the Arctic Fox.
Arctic Fox, gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure everybody was pretty sick of seeing those. Well, that's okay. I mean,
yeah. Hey, it's what you enjoy doing. That's what I say. I never knock people for what they get because people probably don't like what I buy. So I'm just like, if it makes you happy, I'm happy for you, brother.
Yeah.
You know,
my thing with the case knives though is like we kind of alluded to this, and I talked about this on my live, and I was like, year of 2022, everybody was bashing case and talking about how bad they were. Yeah. And then 2023, everybody's buying them. I'm like, okay, well, I think case is going to be just fine. I don't think.
Our video, we're like the biggest, salesman for buck and case. If you think about it, I mean, it's just a constant commercial, if you think about it. So
I don't know how many Rough Rider knives I've sold, like, secondarily, but it's got to be in the hundreds by now. Surely.
It must be. Sow belly stock's gone through the roof.
Right. But the sow belly, I'll tell you, I never had owned one until TK sent me the Roper sow belly, and that thing is a slick. I could not believe the fit and finish for one, and then the secondary clip blade is just. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's a funky knife though. If I'm being honest, because the amount of like cant on the knife is like crazy.
Yeah,
but it's almost kind of unique in that way, and I'm like, it's kind of cool, It's like you don't have a knife. You're never going to see a knife like that.
Yeah, I love it. And I always give this knife praise because I own nothing like it.
Right.
And for it to be something, I'm like, like when you first sent us, I was like, look at that. It just
it's so weird. I've got one too.
I love it. Yeah, and the fit and finish, like there's zero gap, like absolutely zero gappage on it. And
plus, it's carbon steel.
Yeah,
carbon steel,
which is even better. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's again like the price that you pay for that for carbon steel, and it's like they're one of the few people that can offer you carbon steel. I know it's not 1095, but 1065 is not that shabby. And like who else is making those for under $20?
And honestly, if you're like me, I carry a little field sharpener in my lunchbox. It's got a strap on it, and I got little strops as well here in my room, and I can just sit here and just strop it at the end of each day. And unless you're out there really beating on it, you're not going to get a lot of rolls in your edge and stuff like that to where you're going to need to put it on like a diamond or anything. So
I've used my belt many times just to strop. I mean, if you're just trying to take the wire off, it's not, you don't have to have a perfectly flat surface. I mean, you can still do it.
No, it's some people overthink it and really just get on there, practice a little bit. You'll get it sharp eventually.
No.
Yeah. When I
think
first
that's my like biggest complaint to the new community is like, oh, they're so worried about the blade steel, and everybody's coming over from moderns, and they're like looking at 420. How can this possibly be worth a damn? And it's like, look, man, you got to understand that the knives have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and D2 was considered high end not more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about the blade steels I'm talking about here.
Yeah, there's certain people I watch, and I'm just like, man, they just like bashing on bucks and stuff like that. I'm like, what did your grandpa use? He's out there killing 5 deer each season.
Right.
And processing.
It's not like Buck's not doing anything about upgrades, because they offer upgrades.
Yeah,
if you really want that higher end steel, go buy it. You know what I mean? Stop complaining and go buy it.
Yeah. I love Buck's heat treat. Like this S30V, man. Like I sharpen it and I can just strop it, and I haven't had to sharpen it since that initial sharpening. I've used this knife quite a bit, So I really praise their heat treat.
It's the same on mine, the S30V, the heat treat's just stupid good, isn't it?
It's right in that wheelhouse of being just as good as I'd ever need. I mean, really. Yeah. It's probably more than I need, honestly.
D2's more than I'd ever need. I'm just happy with D2.
I mean, the thing is like I enjoy sharpening my knives, so like doing it a little bit more frequently it's not a bother to me. It's just really, really relaxing and something I enjoy doing. So
it's similar to why I buy the older knives that need cleanups, because it's peaceful, it's relaxing. You just sort of forget what you're doing.
And it gives you a sense of accomplishment. A little. I mean, you're literally like taking a piece of paper. You're like testing your blade, and you're going, "Yeah, that's not good." And then 5 minutes later, you're going, "Oh yeah." So that's
take it from a spoon to a cutthroat razor.
I've actually done something, accomplished something today, other than my boss yelling at me for being 3 minutes late at work. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's nice to have a little positivity in your life.
Yeah. Like this right here, S45V and this S30V performs way longer than this right here. It just does. I
know what they're doing.
This little doll cutting bread, after a month or so of just light use, you're like, that's the edge just completely rolled on me. So
anything you want to finish out on? Anything final thoughts? Anything?
First off, I want to thank you for your support of me and my channel and inviting me on this to be the first guest to do this kind of Gung Ho knife show, right? Is the name of it. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you reaching out last week about that. And then you also sent some very awesome gifts for us to give away for the month of December in Happy Hour Live Chat. If anyone knows, we do a live every Sunday, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. We usually give away a blade or two and some tools or whatever we got laying around, and we usually have a month-long raffle as well. So if people want to tune in for that, Happy Hour Live Chat with myself and Kevin.
Yep, it's a great show, and Kevin doesn't get around to all the other channels, so I almost feel like he needs a little more promoting because he's just too busy to comment a lot. So if you don't catch his actual live or his videos from time to time, you may be missing out on something. But super nice guy. I'm glad you guys have found one another and have really good camaraderie there on your live. So that's real good to watch.
Yeah, like through the day, he can't even respond to a text till it might be 7 o'clock his time. We'll talk early in the morning about 5:30 or 6, and then he's radio silent till like 7 p.m. his time usually. So
okay,
it's kind of rough on him.
Yeah, and our hours are a little screwy, obviously being 6 hours difference, but we make it work.
We make it work.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come on. And I just hope everybody has the opportunity to get on this particular program. Like I said, and we're going to probably try to have as many different people as we possibly can. There's a lot of collectors that I'd like to have on, like Mike Curtis. He's kind of doing videos now, doing shorts. Yeah. But, they just have absolutely phenomenal collections, and they really need to be seen. And so hopefully this is the kind of the format that we can kind of move forward with and get a wider breadth of kind of people's collections, and then obviously kind of get into that knife wars thing that I talked about before.
Yeah, but like Zin Ali RJ talked him into coming on. So
yeah,
I mean, he just showed his collection. But,
that's right.
I promoted that on Happy Hour Live Chat the other night. So I was very happy to see him like getting in there.
Yeah, like Zen was all apologetic about the way he sounded. I'm like, I mean, he sounded normal to me, just some country boy, right, from Georgia, right? I mean,
yeah, man.
I don't know what he was worried about, but yeah, people are just a little self-conscious, especially at the beginning. And I think the more that they do it, the more comfortable they get. Stuart Gross is another one that was on with RJ that he just basically comes on and shows knives.
Gotcha.
Doesn't really participate in the lives. He'll do like a pre-recorded thing. So maybe even somebody like him would come on like something like this. So we'll see. But I would like to see a little more of the collector involvement, not just with content creators, but other individuals that we know have really great collections.
Yeah.
And, so that would be really fun.
Yep.
But I do appreciate you coming on, and I know I kept Slippy up late, so thank you to him as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Slippy.
No, you're welcome.
But we'll sign off for now, and we'll catch up with you next time. Again, this is the big Gung Ho Knife Show. Trying to still get used to saying that, the Gung Ho Knife Show. And yeah, this is going to be all about the collector's collections. So hopefully you enjoyed Big J's collection today, and we hope to bring you more of these in the future. So about a once in a month type thing, I think, maybe about once every 4 weeks, and won't be. People are saying maybe it was going to be similar to Tom's. I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. And again, for Slippy and Big J's Knives, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.
You're watching Thrifty Kaniffy.